So it's Robin Poole again from Spirit Said. So today I'm going to walk you through the process I used to set up the altar for protection, for a positive experience, for health and well-being on the show, Chasing the Paranormal. And it's one of these things where it's like, everybody's participating in the show. We have a lot of great experts and everybody's doing their part, right? To make sure that the show is positive and safe and healthy and happy and entertaining and fun for you guys, the viewers. So this is what I thought I could do. So I'm setting up my altar and I'll just show you what the altar looked like and how I did it and where all the parts came from. So altars are about channeling energy, and as I'm preparing to make this, I'm taking a moment and I feel myself gathering my power and gathering my intention. And I thought I'd go through the cards that I've chosen for this. Here we go. Right. So I have this great giant deck of Buffy the Vampire Slayer trading cards, which I found at the Goodwill bins at one point. I paid $1 for, there's like 150 of them. And I have duplicates, by the way. So once I get them out of storage, people are interested. Anyway, they're great for altars because they're full of all of this like sort of paranormal, activities. So I've chosen some for this altar to channel my energy, and I thought I'd go through that with you guys. So I chose the empty puppet case because we're going to be working with haunted items, which is super cool. And so I'm just going to stick this right on the altar there. Now, I've got a couple here. Save that one. This is Dead Man's Party. I'm like, I want this to be fun. I want us to have a good time. So I'm going to keep the Dead Man's Party. Stick that one. I might rearrange these a little bit. Fairy tales are real, right? A lot of what we're trying to figure out is what's real and what's not. And there are a lot of things that people think are fake that are actually real. So I loved this. Fairy tales are real. I thought that was a big part of where we are on this show. Bring me my amulet. Well, I hadn't really thought of making amulets, but then I pulled this card and I'm like, maybe I should make protection amulets for all of us. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'm going to stick that on the altar as a reminder about making amulets. And then I got body switch. Okay, so that's something we don't want. We don't want any evil spirits to possess us, to come across us. So that's a no-no. This is also a no-no. Something fishy this way comes. We don't want to attract evil spirits. We don't want to be targets of evil spirits. And then there was this guy, Death Stalks the Dream. Now, our dream is to be on a paranormal podcast and have you guys watch it and have it change the world. So we don't want any death on the dream. And what I'm doing here, I don't know if you can see, but I've got a mirror. Mirrors are good for protection in general. And what I'm going to do is put all of these cards, make sure my stand doesn't fall over. Sorry. Put all of these cards, the things I don't want. I don't want death to stalk the dream. I don't want something fishy this way comes. And I don't want body switch. And I'm going to place them, you can see, behind the mirror here. So I'm going to use the mirror as a symbolic protection. If we go around, you can see there they are behind the mirror. The mirror is a symbolic protection, setting our intention that those are not things that we want. So that's how I've created this altar, and I'll give you guys a little tour in just a moment. Okay, so here's a little tour of the protection altar for Chasing the Paranormal. So my table here, something I found at an estate sale, I just loved it. It was so beautiful. I love these portable little tables because they allow me to set up altars anywhere I want. And forgive me if this is a little dim. I only do natural light for my altars when I film them. So that's why it's just the window. All right, so this bottom scarf is super cool. You can say it says the St. John Ambulance Association. It is, in fact, a World War I medical sling. And you can see it's got these amazing pictures of how to bind up various wounds with this sling. I found this in a antique store in Berwick-upon-Tweed in England. And yes, these are actual blood stains on it. So, it's from World War I era. And I chose it because we're going to need protection. We're going to need wisdom, and also we want to be healing. So this has a lot of healing energy because it is a healing item and it's obviously been used on injured people to sustain them. Got a lot of natural objects because we're going to be healing the land, and we also want to work with the natural energies of the land to help protect us and keep us strong. So this is an old mink collar from an old coat, which I found at a Goodwill bins. I love natural fur, but I only do vintage fur because I don't want to be killing any animals these days. I've got this gorgeous deer skull. It's not deer, maybe this is an antelope skull ring, which represents the dead made beautiful, that there's still beauty in death. We're definitely going to be encountering that. I've got this fossil found along the side of the Thames. It's millions of years old. We're going to be digging up old stuff. So a lot of these things are like to generate the energy of the show, right, about old things. And then some of them are aspirational, like how I want us to feel about the show, like this skull, right, that death is beautiful. Some of them are for our protection or strengthening. So I have a little stone squirrel. Squirrels are very agile. They're good at scampering out of the way. They're good at sensing danger. I want that for us. This here is this tube full. This is 400 years of pottery that I found along the side of the Thames in England. Like this is a piece from the Elizabethan era right here. This is from the Victorian era. This is from about 1700. So this represents the span of time that we're going to be encountering. I've got a nice chicken bone I found in, I think that one's from Los Angeles, outside of our apartment, and that represents just, the digging up of old bones. I've got a piece of shungite, which is a powerful protective stone. I've got this mirror, which, as I said, is about protection, and then the cards representing what we don't want are on the back of the mirror to symbolically separate them from the rest of us. And then I have these other cards, Bring Me My Amulet, Fairy Tales Are Real, Empty Puppet Case, and Dead Man's Party, to symbolize the energy that I'm hoping that we will encounter and create on the show. So this is just today, right? First setup. I will probably be changing this around, changing out cards as the show goes on. I might take the whole thing down and redo it. So altars are kind of a work in process, but this is the beginning energy that I am hoping that we'll start with. So I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments on this, and I can't wait for you guys to join us. I found this piece of cardboard on the ground 3 days ago, and I had no idea why I needed it, but I trusted my inner self when it said that I did. Turns out it's exactly what I need to shim this table so that the altar table doesn't move. It's amazing when you work with spirit and you learn to trust your intuition, what will come into your life. So I just added this little watch, which is another Goodwill find. It's an old Timex. And I added it onto the empty puppet case because my inner self tells me that haunted items can suck up all our time if we need it, and I want to prevent that from happening. So this is to minimize the amount of time we spend on haunted items so that they don't suck up our entire lives. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Would love to hear what you thought. If you have questions or thoughts, stick them in the comments and we'll do our best to respond. And I just wanted to let you know that this is totally something that anybody can participate in. It doesn't have to be like a special spiritual practitioner or whatever. If you've got something important to you and you have an altar you want to set up and you have a bunch of objects that are meaningful for you, go ahead, give it a try. Set your intention, see what happens. I've got one right over here. Maybe you can see it. In the corner there, that's for my antiques booth. And actually, there's going to be a video on my Spirit Said Style YouTube channel talking about the antiques booth altar and how I set that up. But the point is, this is a really easy, inexpensive technology that you can use with stuff you have around the house and things you've collected over the years. So give it a try and let us know what happens.